the Garden short horror film. This story takes place on the edge of a field shrouded in an air of mystery that seemed to hang over the land like an unseen fog. Long ago there lived a woman whose radiant blonde hair shimmered like strands of moonlight. One fateful night, as she tended her garden beneath the watchful gaze of a full moon, she accidentally dropped a ripe tomato. As she bent to retrieve it, her fingers grazed against something peculiar, almost hidden under the earth's dark embrace. Curiosity flickered within her, and she began to pull at the object, feeling an odd resistance. The harder she tugged, the more it seemed to cling to its secretive resting place. After several futile attempts, she sighed.
"I'll leave you for now, but I swear I will uncover your mystery."
The following dawn, a strange feeling of unease washed over her as she discovered not one, but 3 more of these enigmatic objects. Each one was oddly shaped, glinting slightly in the morning light, and each time she tried to pry them from the soil, they resisted with unnerving tenacity. Her irritation began to shift into something deeper, a sense of foreboding. Desperate for answers, she called upon a renowned gardener, known for his knowledge of the arcane and unusual. When he arrived, a chill swept through the air. He examined the garden with a skeptical air and dismissed her concerns with a wave of his hand, claiming there was nothing to worry about, nothing but figments of her imagination. The woman's heart raced with disbelief as she pointed insistently at the objects, now multiplying and looming ominously in the earth. Once more he shook his head, this time with a tinge of apprehension. Disturbed, the woman felt a shiver travel down her spine. As dusk approached, she realized she needed more than just answers. She decided she needed an escape from the unsettling tension. She made herself a pot of herbal tea and started sipping it on the front porch. As she sipped her tea, she watched the horses in the meadow run and play, smiling to herself as she knew they were such majestic creatures. Then suddenly the horses cried out and combusted, splattering blood, guts, and all kinds of disgusting inside everywhere, leaving nothing but steaming piles of gore all over the meadow. At this point, the girl was screaming. She just didn't know what to do. Something like this it shouldn't happen. She tried to reason this out in her head, but it didn't make sense. She was in the house still, watching in horror as the horses' leftovers were taken over by more of the objects from her garden. She went to bed early and tried to go to sleep, but as much as she wanted to, her body wouldn't let her. She lay there the rest of the night and couldn't help but think about the horrible events of that day. She got up in the morning, very tired, and fixed herself some breakfast. She tried to rub off the sleep and headed out to her garden, which was a fatal mistake, as the garden objects were everywhere, and there were dead animal remains all over, being silently consumed by these objects. The woman passed out from the fright. A little while later, she woke up on the ground, covered in these objects. She screamed and screamed as she was slowly digested, only she didn't explode. She was being ripped up and bloodied by these creatures. She didn't stop screaming, from a mixture of pain and horror. The next couple of days, a police agent was visiting this random house owned by a woman who owned the property. She hadn't been seen for a couple of days. He thinks it'll surely be just a routine checkup. When he arrived, the horror was almost too much. There was gore everywhere. Blood was soaking the earth while guts were scattered across the ground. The stench was awful. He walked around to the back, hoping to find the source of all this destruction of nature, and what he saw was horrifying. The cop saw a woman with beautiful blonde hair in her garden turned inside out and rotting. But as the cop turned to get his camera, he exploded.
If you like this video, make sure to click that like button and subscribe. If you want to see more content, Comment what story you want me to do next. Thanks for watching. See you next time.